السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم Zain, how are you?
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Alhamdulillah.
So, you need to wait for someone or we should start?
Maybe we could wait 2-3 minutes if that's okay.
Okay, no problem.
Let everyone join. Hello.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
MashaAllah. So I can see Sajjad, I can see Said Muhammad, Shazan, Jafar, a lot of people. MashaAllah. Yeah, inshallah in two more minutes, we should start. Is there any volunteer to read a surah from Quran in the beginning? Anyone?
I can read.
You can? Just in one more minutes. Exactly at 9:05, so we can wait one more minute. Yeah, Bismillah. Sajjad?
Yes. So should I read any surah?
Any surah.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد ووالد وما ولد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا أيحسب أن لم يره أحد ألم نجعل له عينين ولسانا وشفتين وهديناه النجدين فلاقتحم العقبة وما أدراك ما العقبة فك رقبة أو إطعام في يوم في مسغبة يتيما ذا مقربة أو مسكينا ذا متربة ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة أولئك أصحاب الميمنة والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشعمة عليهم نار محصدة صدق الله العلي العظيم. Thank you. So everyone, please be on the lookout for any of the Muharram programs or any of the youth programs and events that will happen in the next 1 or 2 months, especially when Muharram is going to start. So check the IEC WhatsApp group and social media, and also on the website. And now I will introduce Maulana to start the dars.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم حسين مني وأنا من الحسين. So, as you know, today our topic is about Azadari. Azadari means mourning and commemorating the event of Karbala. And whatever happened in Karbala, we remember Imam Hussain alayhi salam and his family. And we show our sadness and grief, and we mourn for him and for all those who were killed with him mercilessly. This is called Azadari. Azadari is a Persian word. Originally, the word Aza. Aza means grief and mourning. So we have several things to discuss on this issue. And I will try to keep it less than half an hour. Then we'll continue our open discussion. I want to hear from you, your point of view and your questions you might have in your minds, or may other people may have asked you and you need an answer for that. So we'll discuss, inshallah. So there will be an open discussion after that. So first of all, let's see Azadari, crying and lamenting and showing your grief. Is it okay? Is it right to do? It is something allowed in Islam. So very quickly, I will divide it into, excuse me, 3 parts. One part of it is it something that makes sense for any human being? Aql, based on intellect, a human being will say, yes, this is fine, this is okay. The second part is, does Quran allow that? Is Quran giving us any evidence that crying is okay, is fine for somebody? The third part of it is it okay to cry based on a hadith of Rasulullah, based on his sirat, what he has done? You know what the sirat mean? Sirat of Rasul, because Islam is based on two things, Quran and Sunnah. Quran and Sunnah. Whenever you talk to any Muslim, he will say Quran and Sunnah. Quran, Allah's book, and Sunnah is the practice of Rasulullah, or whatever he said. His saying, his practice, and his approval is called Sunnah. Even if he didn't say anything, and if he didn't do anything, but something was said in front of him, and something was done in front of him, and he kept quiet, his keeping quiet is kind of approval for that, and it's called taqreer ma'soom. So qawl, fi'l, and taqreer. So whatever he says, whatever he does, and what he approves is hadith, and it is sunnah. And it is enough for us, enough evidence for us to practice that particular thing. Now, number one, as I said, human nature and human intellect. Does human nature approve azadari? Should we do azadari? Of course, crying is a natural thing, something that is an instinct of every single human being, regardless of his religion, his color, creed, country, whatever. If he is a human being, he gets hurt and he feels sad, and tears comes out from his eyes out of grief if something sad happens to him. Somebody dies, his relative, he cries. You cannot come and say, hey, why are you crying? He said, what are you talking about? It's crying, I'm just crying. He said, no, you cannot cry. It is bid'at, it is haram. How can Allah forbid something that he put in the instinct of human being? Come on. You will find in the literature of our Sunni brothers who oppose crying on Imam Hussein alayhi salam, they say, no, crying is not allowed in Islam. Come on, Islam is Deenul Fitra. Islam is the religion of fitrat, religion of nature. It's based on common sense. We don't see in Islam any ordinance, anything which is wajib and it is against nature, and anything which is haram and it is based on nature. No. Islam, whatever Islam is Deenul Fitra, means the religion of nature. This is what Quran called it. Fitratullah allati fatara an-nas alayha. So crying is something natural. When you feel sad, you cry. And even, based on medical, point of view, crying will give you relief from stress and will benefit your health. There's a different, issue, but it is nothing wrong if you cry for someone who is dead and you love him, any loved one who is dead, or something happened to him, and you crying out of love to him. No one in the world will say that you are doing something wrong. You are doing something natural. It is fine. It's totally okay. And in order to prove that this is wrong, we don't have to provide evidence. The one who is saying that it is forbidden, he has to prove, his point of view, not us. This is about nature, and we can even keep going, but I think this is enough. Quran, what Quran says about it? The best examples that Quran has provided for human being are whom? prophets of Allah. Allah's prophets are best role models for us. And Quran is talking about a story of Hazrat Yusuf and Yaqub. In Surah Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when Yusuf disappeared, Yaqub alayhi salam, although he knew that he is alive, based off the knowledge that Allah had given him, he knew that he is not dead. But the separation of his son caused him so much grief that he kept crying, that Quran says, وَبِيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ. مِنَ الْحُزْنِ. Huzn means grief. His eyes turned white out of his grief. Means he cried so much that the crying affected his eyes, his health. Still Quran says, وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. Kadhim is from Kadhim, means he is the one who shows his patience. He was a patient one who can control his emotions. So this was not just the emotional issue. He was crying not just because he was emotional and he cannot control his emotions. No, he was controlling Kadhim. He controlled his emotions and still he was crying. So crying is not something to say it is against patience. No, it is exactly, a kind of demonstration of patience, that you demonstrate patience. Yes, if you say, oh Allah, why you did it? Why this happened to me? This is wrong. But once you say, whatever happened, I'm not blaming Allah for that, but I'm crying. It is totally fine and okay. So Quran is giving us example of Hazrat Yusuf, and there are so many more examples. And if you combine these aql and Quran together, you will find so many more ayat in Quran that talking about love to Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu salam. And the love of Ahlul Bayt is wajib, and you as a Muslim have to love Ahlul Bayt and show your love, demonstrate your love. So it is nothing but a kind of love, showing our love to Ahlul Bayt. And Allah says, قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. You have to love Ahlul Bayt. If you don't love Ahlul Bayt, you will not be considered a Muslim at all. What kind of Muslim you are and you don't love Ahlul Bayt? Love of Ahlul Bayt is part of religion, and maybe the whole religion, because everything comes in it. And crying for Ahlul Bayt, because Ahlul Bayt, they were suffering such kind of oppression by the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, by the enemies of Islam. And if we hear that and we cry, this is natural, and this is based on Quranic teachings, because Quran says you have to love Ahlul Bayt, and this is what we are doing, showing our love. How you show your love? Ashura, when all entire family was killed, mercilessly, brutally. They killed him. They killed them. You don't cry? You don't feel sad? Then what kind of love you have to Ahlul Bayt then? And if you don't have love to Ahlul Bayt, you are against Quran. So there are so many ayat in Quran. I will leave it until here to make it very brief and to finish soon, so that we get more chance for discussion, open discussion. Now let's come to hadith of Rasulullah, sunnah of Rasulullah. This is truly amazing issue, and you will find such thing in Islamic literature. You can challenge anyone. Come on, show us. something that did not happen yet in the time of Rasulullah. How can we get sunnah of Rasulullah about it? Tell me. So sunnah, yes, he might say something about it for the future. He might approve something, somebody is talking about the future, that this will happen, and he approves it, this is one. But he cannot practice it. He cannot cry before something happens. Can he? Can you cry for something that will happen after 50 years? You don't cry for that. First of all, you don't know. But the Prophet knew that what will happen, but didn't happen. But subhanallah, we have the practice of Rasulullah that he cried for Imam Hussein even before the event of Karbala. I wonder, believe me, when these Muslims ask us, why you cry? It is bid'at. It is bid'at. This is the only sunnat that the Prophet did it even before it happens. Prophet himself cried on Imam Hussein. He cried on Imam Hussein before Karbala. 60 years before the event of Karbala, he cried on the event of Karbala and on Imam Hussein. Now you say, okay, it may be in your books, it is your claim. No, it is not our claim. It is in the books of our Sunni brothers. Don't say, oh, maybe the books are not authentic. No. How many authentic books do they have? And they call it authentic. They call it Sahih. Sahih is true, right, correct. These books have no wrong ahadith in them. No fabricated ahadith in them, according to them. They call it Sahah. Sahah is the plural of Sahih. How many Sahah book do they have? 6. 6 Sahah. They have. Sahah hai 6. 6 Sahih books. In Tirmidhi, there is the very famous riwayat that when Imam Hussein was born, Rasulullah cried for him. And Salima, one of the wives of Rasulullah, Salima narrates this hadith that Rasulullah gave her the news about Karbala, that this will happen. And he was crying when she asked him, Ya Rasulullah, you're crying. It's not a time for you to cry. It is time to be happy on the birth of Imam Hussein. He said, no, Jibreel just came and told me that this ummah, my nation, is going to kill my son, Hussein. He said it and he started crying. Who cried? Rasulullah cried. Muslims, why don't you cry? You're asking us why we cry? It's very weird, totally weird. Why you don't cry when Rasulullah did cry even before his shahadat? You're supposed to cry now more. And not only this, the riwayat further says that Rasulullah gave her a container that contained the earth of Karbala, the soil of Karbala was in it. And he said, Salima, whenever this soil turns into blood, you should know that my Hussein is killed. The day my son will be killed, this soil that I'm giving you in this container, it's going to turn red and it's going to turn into blood. And Salma, when Imam Hussein left, it was her, every day would go and check and see that container. And in the day of Ashura, it turned red. And also it says that she saw in her dream, this also the riwayat in Ahl Sunnah books, in the day of Ashura, she saw in the dream that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam is crying, and he is in this state of mourning and grief. She said, "Why are you crying, Ya Rasulullah? What happened to you?" He said, "These people who take my name and claim to be Muslim, they killed my son Hussein in Karbala. It is in day of Ashura." That's why she woke up quickly and she went to check the container, and she saw that it turned red already. And she knew that Imam Hussein is killed. It was the day of Ashura, which means in the day of Ashura also Rasulullah cried. And don't say that, okay, no, it was a dream and Islam doesn't believe in dream. No, Islam doesn't believe in your dreams, in my dreams. But the dream of Nabi is not a dream, a regular dream. Otherwise, why you then commemorate or you celebrate Eid al-Adha? Why? Why remember that? It is all based on dream. Right? Dream of Ibrahim alayhi salam. But Ibrahim's dream is not dream, it is reality. And Rasulullah has said, and all Muslims, they agree that whatever Rasul says in the dream, it is true. Because anybody who, he said, whoever sees me in the dream, if he sees me in the dream, it is like he has seen me in reality, in truth. Why? Because shaitan cannot take my form. He cannot appear in my form, in my shape. So there are so many more ahadith in Sunni books, in Sahih, very authentic books. And even there is thawab written in those books, that how much thawab somebody will get for crying for Imam Hussein. But I will give you an interesting analogy. See, if you see on the in any funeral, you see two brothers who coming to bury their father. So in the funeral of their father, you will see two real brothers, son of the deceased, in the funeral. One is crying and one is not crying. This, again, I'm going back to natural evidence that we have about Azadari. Tell me, I'm asking you, all of you are listening to me, and you also can ask anyone, any human being, and even ask those who say that, okay, no, it is not right, it's bid'at. Ask them, okay, is it bid'at? I'm asking you, the two brothers are in the funeral. One is crying, one is not crying. About whom the people are going to ask why he is doing it? Why? The word why, who is going to use for whom? For the one who is crying? Are the people going to ask why this son is crying? Or the people will ask why the other son is not crying? Tell me, naturally. Do you need any book for this? Come on. You're a human being, you have intellect. Use your brain. Everybody is going to ask, he will wonder why the other person is not crying. They will not wonder why he is crying. Crying is natural because he is son, he is father, he lost his father, he is crying naturally. Yes, fine. The one who is not crying, the difference here, they will ask him why he is not crying. So here, who should you ask? Should you ask us when we mourn for Imam Hussein, that's why we cry? Or you should ask those brothers, Muslims who are not crying for Imam Hussein? Who should we ask? Why? Of course, they should give us answer why they don't cry. if they have the same relationship to Rasulullah. And I will share one story and I will stop. See, brothers, my children you are, my brothers you are. Your age is very important age. And you have some responsibilities. And you have to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this great ni'mat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, the love of Ahlul Bayt. One of the greatest bounties of Allah. Now you have to share this bounty with others. It is you who can spread the word of Ahlul Bayt in this world. But you have to learn and share it. And it's easy. You don't have to make any effort to prove that Ahlul Bayt are right and they are great people. No, you don't need to. It's just you need to present them in a proper way, true way, whatever there was. They don't need any kind of exaggeration. Exaggeration is needed where? In a place of deficiency. When there is a deficiency, people exaggerate. Oh, he was this and he was this. Ahlul Bayt, as much as you talk about them high, still we cannot reach a little of their status. They are so great, so high, and everything about them is true. So I give you this example. Why I'm saying this, that you, if you have a responsibility when you go to college, or you go to school, or you go to your job, you have a responsibility to convey this message of Ahlul Bayt. So I met a convert Muslim in Minneapolis many years ago. I was reading in English and Urdu. He would come and attend both sessions. First, in the first part of Majlis, I would speak in English, and in the second part, it would be in Urdu. The people who knew only English, they would leave after first part. Why? Because English is over now. Urdu is started, so they don't understand Urdu. They are leaving. They will do something else. This guy would keep sitting. He never left. So one day I asked him, why? He said, because I know I don't understand what you say in Urdu, but one thing I do understand. I said, what? He said, when you take the name, you say Hussein, I like just this word. I like to hear this word from you. I don't care what you're saying. But I love to hear Hussein. I said, subhanallah, this much you love Hussein? He said, I love him so much. So I said, how? How you started loving him? He said, because today I'm Muslim because of him. I'm true Muslim because of him. I said, can you explain it to me? How you became a Muslim, and then how you become so great lover of Imam Hussein. He said, see, brother, I was not a Muslim. I was confused about my religion. I did so much research around. I didn't find anything that can satisfy me. Nothing satisfied me. One day I met a Muslim in my school, and he presented Islam to me. I liked Islam. Islam attracted me. I said, wow, this is the religion that I was looking for. A religion of logic and reasoning. It has the attraction. So I accepted that. I became a Muslim. After a while, I came across to a story while my studies, and the story was about Karbala. I said, what is Karbala? I read the story. Muslims killed other Muslims. The killers are Muslim. those who were killed are Muslim, and they are very famous people, both of them. So I said, let me go and ask my friend who converted me to Islam. I said, brother, why you didn't tell me about Karbala? What is Karbala? Can you explain to me Karbala? So no, don't even talk about Karbala. Just leave it. Why? Because it was something happened in the history. Allah is not going to ask you about it. I know, but this is something important happened in Islamic history, but you never talked to me about it. Can you now explain it to me? He said, no. It is not our job to do anything. I again emphasized, he said, did you meet any Shia? Any Rafzi? I said, who is a Shia and who is a Rafzi? Now you have to explain to me who is Shia. He said, then I went and did my own research and came back to him. Why? Because I did the research that who is Hussein and who is Yazid. Then I did my research that not Yazid, who is Yazid's father and who is Yazid's grandfather and who is Yazid's grandmother. On the other side, I went to do research. Who is Hussein? Who is his father? Who is his mother? Who is his grandfather? Maternal grandfather, paternal grandfather from both sides, and grandmother from both sides. I said, wow, look, the purity, look to the cleanliness, look to the light in the whole family. Or on the other hand, on the the other side, there is nothing but just filthiness. I said, no comparison. Where Yazid and his family, what Hussein and his family. So he said, I came back to my friend and said, brother, can you tell me who is Hussein and who is Yazid? He didn't tell me about Karbala. Can you tell me about these two people? He said, no, please don't ask. Why? Because Allah is not going to ask you about it. I said, how can Allah will not ask me about it? What are they talking about? Why not? He said, because they just, whatever they have done, they will answer Allah. We are not answerable for it. I said, no, wait a minute. I'm asking you, is Yazid a Muslim? He said, yes. Is Hussein is a Muslim? He said, yes. I said, period. This is my question to you. Tell me, when you converted me to Islam, which Muslim you want me to be? The one like Yazid or the one like Hussein? Which Islam are you calling me to? Islam of Hussein or Islam of Yazid? Give me this answer. He said, no, don't worry. He said, how cannot I worry? There are two Islams. One Islam preached by Yazid and until today preached by Yazidis, and the other one preached by Hussein and by Hussainis. When he didn't give me any answer, I said, I chose my path. I take the Islam of Hussein. And that's why I love Hussein and I love to hear his name. Don't worry, just keep speaking in Urdu. I still, when you say Hussein, I love it, I like it. This is the true story that I am narrating directly. Nobody has told me and I'm telling you. No, it is me, myself. So I think the time is over for me. I will open it for you for questions and comments. So if you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask. Or if you have any comment, if you add anything, you want to add anything.
Malana, I had a question. So when we say the topic about Azadari, a big thing that is really similar is doing our matam, because that's our way of showing grief. And so when non-Muslims and Sunnis, they ask us, they do ask us about, why we cry, and that's that. But, another thing they always ask us is, why do we do matam? And, and so, like, because I also researched, and I mean, I didn't do much research, but I see that, there are some hadiths, like, the fourth Imam and Imam Jafar Sadiq, and they're saying that, crying for Imam Hussein is, sawab, and if you make other people cry, it's also sawab. But they didn't say anything about how the azadari that we do around the world, and that's matam, to show our grief. So what can that be?
Yeah, a very good question. See, something which is halal, first of all, you need to know it is not haram. Then it's up to you how to use it. Anything is halal. When you eat something and drink something, if it is halal, it is up to you how to drink it, where to sit, in what container you want to keep it, in what plate you want to keep it. It is up to you. Unless something comes that says, no, this is wrong, you have to stop it, then you have to prove that why should I stop it. Since matam is a way of expressing your grief, it is a way of many, even in other communities, maybe people do this. So for us, it is a way of expressing our grief. That's it. Now, if somebody says it is haram, so he has to prove it is haram. How you cry, to what extent you should cry, for how long you should cry, it is open for you. It depends. But crying and showing your grief is important. That's why you see the azadari doesn't have a uniform style in the world. In every culture, you feel people show their gham, their grief, and the mourn Imam Hussein based on their own cultures. Different cultures, different way of doing it. That's why. So matam, yes, we can say that it is not explained the way we are doing it, maybe, but it is not forbidden. We don't see that somebody says, any imam says, don't do matam. We don't have any hadith from Ma'soom that don't do, which means it is halal. It is halal. Anyone else?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Is it okay if I ask a question that's a little bit off topic?
Yeah, sure. Can you finish this one first?
Sure.
Anybody else has any question on this topic?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, I just have one question. I just want to ask you, mentioned that this azadari is actually, we normally define it as expression of grief. But if we look at it, it's expression of love also. I mean, so what's the correct definition? Is it grief? Is it love? Is it both? Or how can we define it?
Originally is love, and the result of love is grief. You cannot be sad for any regular person who is dying. You might be sad for a certain situation that he died in, but you will not be sad that much, right? As you do to your closer person. The closer a person is to you, the more sad you feel for anything happens to him. This is very, very natural thing.
Yeah.
So love and aza are interrelated. You cannot separate them. Azadari and love is, see, azadari is because of love, and love is the best for azadari. So originally, you are right that it is love, as I said in Quran. Allah said that you have to love Ahlul Bayt. When you love Ahlul Bayt and you connect it to azadari, it means that we are showing our love to Ahlul Bayt by doing the azadari, as I said in the beginning.
And I think same applies also for happiness also, right? That, and not just sadness, that when Ahlul Bayt, there's a more sadness for them. Same thing goes for happiness. In that case, we put our own sadness, happiness in the background, and we commemorate their sadness and their happiness as a form of love for them.
MashaAllah, very good point. Jazakallah. Yes, exactly true. MashaAllah. Yes. Anyone else? You can share your ideas, your points. If you have any experience talking to anybody about it, anyone else?
Wasab, I actually had, I guess it's not a question, but maybe something that you can shed more light on. A lot of times, I'm sure a lot of the people on the line, but I at least find Shias arguing within Shias about, different forms of matam, that this is wrong or this is right. Zanjir matam, blade matam, even people, people that take off their shirts doing matam. So there's so many debates within our own Shia community, within Chicagoland or worldwide. So can you shed light upon, Zanjir matam or matam that involves blood, or even people taking off their shirts? A lot of those people are criticized all the time. So I don't know if you have any thoughts or if you could shed light on that.
Yeah. Taking out the shirt in front of non-mahram is not allowed. So if they are taking the shirt out in a place where there are no ladies, so it is fine. First of all, about this. About Zanjiri Matam, see, a blessing from Allah that we have is the blessing of our religious leadership. It is a great blessing, and this is the one that has kept us unite. And if you talk to any other sect, they will really, the thing that they appreciate, or they say that, yeah, they acknowledge the uniqueness of our religion is the leadership. No other sect has such a hierarchy and as such a leadership. So we have marja. We don't have to fight with each other. Why should we even argue about each other? Whatever your marja says, just follow him. Simple and easy. If your marja has said anything, but you have to ask for proof. Sometimes some people, they don't like something and they start making it a big deal and using names from here and there. So if somebody says that this is haram or this is not allowed, Ayatollah Sistani didn't say it is haram. Zanjiri Matam, he didn't say it is not allowed. Some people say that Ayatollah Khamenei has said it, then those who follow Ayatollah Khamenei as a marja, of course, they don't do it, but they have no right to stop other people, and they make it an issue of dispute among the community. This is, in brief, I think.
Thank you, Malana. I think that's very important, because so many times we find our own Shias arguing with one another, and just like you said, it's simple as just follow your marja.
Yes.
Don't point your fingers at others. Because there's so many people always attacking each other, and it's very sad. We're getting attacked from outside.
Yes, it is sad. It is totally sad, and it is not something that Ahlul Bayt will like, and they will approve it at all. If we really love Ahlul Bayt and we are true Azadar, we have to respect each other. We have to respect other Azadar. And see, even Azadari has levels. Somebody is doing matam in the halqa. Somebody is a little bit behind. Somebody is totally standing by the wall. Somebody is sitting on the chair. So you cannot judge people's love and their level of iman by this. So do what you are doing and don't belittle others and don't disrespect others. And if somebody is doing something based on his own marja, so you don't try to implement what you are thinking on others. It's fine. If somebody is doing it this way, let him do it this way. You're not doing, the other people should be fine, should not ask you why you're not doing. So it is open. It is, since Azadari was not made wajib, it has so much flexibility in it. So just do it and follow your marja, period.
Thank you, Maulana.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam.
I don't have any question. I just wanted to make a comment. Really great discussion. I
Hello?
like the examples of used of the two brothers crying, and then also the. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, now, yes, I can hear you now.
I just wanted to make a comment on the. Your discussion was great. Alhamdulillah. I like the examples that you used of the two brothers crying, as well as the dream of Prophet Muhammad and Eid al-Adha. It was great. Thank you, Maulana.
Thank you. Jazakallah. MashaAllah. Who is this? Sorry, can you say your name also?
This was Sean Rizvi.
Oh, Sean. Sorry, I didn't recognize you. Sorry. Okay. Jazakallah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? So I give last chance for, I think Brother Qasim had the, no. I think Qaim Naqwi had a question, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So if everybody is done with this topic, because I also want to talk for 5 minutes. So we have 10 minutes, I think 9 minutes left.
Sorry, there was actually a question in the chat that I saw. I think
okay.
Jafar asked it just about doing azadari in the time of COVID and how we should responsibly.
Oh, mashallah. Very good question. Yes. Thank you for asking this. Again, see, we have to. I was talking about aql, right? Intellect and nature. Islam emphasizes so much on aql. First of all, what common sense says? Islam is common sense. So common sense says that you have to follow the guidelines. Guidelines provided by health officials. And your health is important. And Quran says, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. Don't put your health and yourself and your life at risk. It is haram for your life. But if it comes to the risk of life of somebody else, it becomes even more haram. As I was talking yesterday in my majlis, I said some people, out of their emotions, they say, oh, I don't care about anything happens to me. Because I love Imam Hussein, I have to do azadari the way I like. And I don't care. You cannot say I don't care. You might say I don't care about myself, but you cannot say I don't care about other people. How can you say that? You have to care about other people. Otherwise, Ayatollah Sistani has said, if you don't care about other people's health, you will be responsible if something happens to them. And don't say that I'm healthy. Some people are in this misconception that if they are happy, they can go anywhere in whatever manner without following the guidelines. And these are not just health officials' guidelines. It's Shari'i guidelines. You have to follow it. It is Sharia. This is Islam. That you to follow it. So if somebody says, I don't care, Ayatollah Sistani says that if somebody else gets infected because of you, you will be responsible for him. And if he died, you will have to give the diya, means, you will be responsible for his death. It's a big issue. So don't take it easy, brothers. Please take it serious. This is something serious, and we have to do the azadari the way our Imam likes us to do. And this is very unique situation. And in this unique situation, we have to be very careful and do whatever is appropriate to do, inshallah. MashaAllah, good comments also I can see on the screen. Jazakumullah. So I will give chance now to Qaim Naqwi before we finish our discussion. Qaim, you had a question?
Yes, assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam.
So I've been reading Atla Bakr this book, Introduction to Islamic Political System. And I just had a quick question. So we all believe that, you know, inshallah, Imam Mahdi will come soon, and he will set up a just and equitable economic and political system across the world. And I just have a couple questions of so if we believe, so Islam has this, you know, political system that we believe is not going to be implemented until Imam Mahdi comes and implements it in a just way. So does that mean that that any system that's in place currently, or any political system or economic system, we should view it as inherently unjust or imperfect, or, you know, we should not be satisfied or settle with it? Because in my understanding, that one of the revolutionary aspects of Shiism especially is that we have this system of justice that we can foresee coming, and we are not satisfied with anything that is not perfectly just or equitable. And then my second question is that
एक मिनट, हम अभी उसमें दर्स में हैं, तो वहाँ मजलिस कितनी देर में है, शुरू हो रही है? Excuse me, give me 1 second. Somebody has called me. जी? ओ मरसिया खत्म हो रहा है, अच्छा. हाँ, तो आपको सहमत होगी एक बार, अभी हमारा दर्स खत्म नहीं होना, आपसे कहा था 10 बजे खत्म होगा, हम आते हैं अभी. ठीक है, चलिए, शुक्रिया, खुदा हाफिज़. आपने हमको एड्रेस भेज दिया, टेक्स्ट कर दिया? हाँ, टेक्स्ट कर, हाँ, फिर एहतियात में कर देंगे. Hello? Yes?
yes.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah. So your question, first question, should I answer your question first, or you want to ask another question?
I'll just ask my second question. It's kind of a follow-up.
Okay.
And so right now is uniquely you know, politically divided, and I just wanted to know, and you know, this is a time where a lot of us have to grapple with a bunch of different ideologies and ideas related to economics and politics. So I was thinking, like, what is the framework of mind we should have when dealing with these issues, and like, what is our attitude from an Islamic perspective when thinking about these different ideologies?
Okay, see, first of all, let me answer your second question easily. Islam is a religion of freedom, freedom of thought, right? And freedom of speech. There are certain guidelines we have to follow. It should not be against our basic belief. Other than that, you know, differences of opinion is fine, it is okay, as long as it should be, you know, it is discussed in academic way, with akhlaq, respecting one another's point of view. You have to prove your point with respect. وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Quran says, talk to them with the best way you can. So differences of opinion is fine, is okay, and it is a sign of progress in any community. But it should not turn into fight and huge conflict. It should remain only within the framework of academic discussion. That's it. First question, although it is related to this one, political system, when we talk about in hadith about Imam Zaman, is talking about global political system. I'm asking you, everyone who is in this class right now, what do you think that when Imam will come, then he will apply his government and his authority on our home, my house, I'm asking myself, when he will come, he will apply, or he has the authority right now in my home environment, and I have to follow him within my house? Of course, he has the authority already. So whenever there is possibility to establish the authority of Imam Zaman now, you should do it. In one house, in a center, our Husaini has the rule of Imam Zaman. That's it, period. No one else can rule our center. He is ruling our center. So his hukumat, his authority is there already. I will never say that when Imam will come, he will apply his authority on Husaini, Imam Barga, or at my home. No. When we talk about Imam, we talk about when he will come globally, he will apply his authority, not in a specific place. But whenever, if you have a city, for example, the whole city says, okay, we follow Imam Zaman, mashallah. The whole country, mashallah. 10 countries, subhanallah. But when he will come, he will apply his authority and Allah's authority and peace and justice on the entire globe. I hope I answered your call, your question quickly. I had very brief. I had to talk to all of you. I needed some more time, but I have to go somewhere else very quick now, and the time is already over. I thank you, everyone, to be part of this discussion. One thing that you should participate in the discussion, be part of, because it is not one-way class. I don't want to make it one-way speech. It is a kind of discussion. We're sitting, we're talking, right? It should be very open discussion. Don't feel shy asking anything or being part of the discussion. And we want to make it stronger, inshallah, forum for us, for all the youth. The second thing I want to inform you, all of you, that mashallah, see, I want you to get organized, please. How many times has I said this? And how many times I tried this? Many times, right? Volunteer yourself that, yes, Maulana, tell us what we can do to organize ourselves more. We can sit, organize yourself, organize yourself, organize yourself. Imam Ali has said it. It is your responsibility. Those who, mashallah, have iman, why are you coming today for this discussion and giving your time? Because you have iman, alhamdulillah. When you have strong iman, you have to share it. You have to be organized. You have to think about others. So what I want to give you a good news, that we are in the process, inshallah, very soon, of establishing a nationwide Shia youth organization. And it will be a big blessing for the entire community, inshallah. But I like to start it from us, ourselves. You be organized. We should have a meeting as we had earlier. Now it became very easy to meet based on those age groups that we met before. But don't expect that I should call you every time. I like if somebody comes and say, Maulana, how about that? Let's do it. I will be very happy, believe me. Do it. Do something. Do something in this world. This Karbala teaches us. Teaches us. See, 2 kids today. Today was the martyrdom day of 2 kids. They have given their life. Kids. So never think that you are too young to do something. Age doesn't matter. What matters is your faith, your iman. Try to do your best and be in the service of your community and the youth. So I want you to be organized. How to be organized? I want the database of every single youth, at least ages 15 to 30. Every single name I need. I want to be in contact with everyone. And inshallah, we are making, as I said, so much, for them. We have so many things to do for them, inshallah. But they also should do something. So I want to organize them. Many of you, mashallah, are involved already, but show some patience, show some interest. Be part of this. It is a movement, believe me. This is a movement, inshallah, which is started from Chicago, is going to be a global movement for the youth. But you have to be part of it. Don't, stay behind, inshallah, okay? I will update you, and I will try to update you. I don't know when we'll have the next meeting, because in Muharram Safar, we might don't have this class. But if you like, we can continue this class. It is up to you, I don't want to force you. I don't want to be, a person who, my nature. I don't force. But if I see even 5 youth come to me and say, Maulana, let's continue, I will give them the time. I will be happy to sit with them. It should come from you guys, okay? I think there's enough from me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. You are my children, you are my brothers. I love you, I like you, and I like to do anything for you. And I want to really make you a role model for all other cities and all other even countries and globally, so that people can say, you want to see the youth? Go and see the youth at Husaini, mashallah. See them in Chicago, how they are organized, how they are good. Okay, so inshallah, I will hope, and I hope that inshallah we will be able to do something together. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's read the dua. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل. Thank you everyone again. Khuda Hafiz, inshallah. See you next time. Fi amanillah. Ma'as salam. Khuda Hafiz.